Now we're nearing the end of this series of instruction videos and it's time to learn how to show the world what you've done. In this video, I'll show you how to make an atlas. An atlas is for all practical purposes a map series, and the easiest atlas to make is like a road atlas. The same subject on all pages, but a different area for each page. And in this case, we're going to make an atlas of agricultural activities per municipality. Along the way, I'll give some tips and tricks on how to pimp your map a bit further. And we'll be walking into a bit of trouble probably, so we have to do a little troubleshooting as well. Alright, so let's first have a look at what we have here. We have a background map, we have a municipalities layer, and we have our farms. And the farms is a filter on the LISA dataset, where the filter equals hoofdgroep is landbouw, bosbouw en visserij, or it's agriculture basically. There's another thing I did here, and that is that I've been messing around with the symbols a bit. I've already built a nice symbol here, and the symbol is an SVG marker of a leaf, and the SVG marker also has a nice draw effect, a drop shadow. Normally you just do that at the end of your project, start working with drop shadows and such like, because it can really affect the performance of QGIS. So especially if you have a lot of data, do all the nice stuff and the draw effects, etc. a bit later. Another thing I did is I've added the fields for the people working there together in order to get companies of at least 2. You could argue that a larger company is more interesting, so let's go for example for 5 or for 10. But if you do that, although it might give a better view of the data, where you can see these really are the agricultural areas here and here, but you're missing something, especially in this area. I'll show you by changing this back. You're missing all the traditional farms here that are along the roads here. So that would be bad actually. On the other hand, if you use all the companies, you'll have all the self-employed people who are not actually owning a farm, but they are working there and being self-employed for some silly legal reason. So let's not go there. Okay, that is about the LISA dataset. The other dataset that we're having here is the municipalities. It's just a selection of municipalities in our study area. Let's zoom into all of them. And here, if you look at the layer rendering, please remember, I'm not a big fan of transparency here, or the opacity slider. I always prefer the multiply option because you get both the colors from what's underneath it and the full color of your symbol. Another thing, what might be interesting is that if you look at the draw effects, you could use a drop shadow to highlight a certain area, or an inner shadow for the exact opposite effect. Remember that because we're going to use at least one of these again later on. Okay, so here we have it. This is the project that we're working with. I'll switch both on and we're going to our map. I've prepared a simple map, and it includes one map view, a title, a scale bar, and a very, very tiny legend. And the legend I've been editing already. I've switched off the auto update and I've been throwing away the stuff I don't like, so that you just see it's LISA data and it's agriculture. So let's make an atlas of this. As you can see, I've got the tab here for atlas as well. Remember, if you're missing something here, just right click somewhere here and you'll see all the toolbars and all the panels. So I've got this panel for atlas here, and I can generate an atlas. My coverage name in this case is the municipalities, as I want every municipality to be its own atlas page. And as the page name, I've chosen the gemeentenaam, the municipality layer. And now if we press the preview button, it will generate an atlas, and it will have 40 something pages. 43 pages in this atlas. However, they're all the same currently. If I switch to the second page, you'll see it's exactly the same. If I switch to Delft, same map, again and again. So we have to do something about that. We're going to the item properties of the map view, and the map view we're going to have controlled by Atlas. And in this case, as you can see now here we have Delft. The 10% margin means that it is slightly off the edge of the map. And if I pick any other map now, it will just switch to that. I'll switch off all the heavy layers now so that you can see it a bit faster. So I'll switch off the Lisa data and the open to open background. And now you can see that when I go to the next map, this one really does the job. Next is, because this is of course pretty ugly, I just want to see the area, in this case in the municipality of Hendrik Ido Ambacht, and everything around it should be covered. That's pretty easy to do actually. What I could do is I could use an inverted polygon here as a visualizer. And as a sub-renderer, not everything the same way, but I'm going to make a rule here. And as a rule, we can have a look back at the Atlas pages again. So in this case, what I could do is I could say the fields and values, in this case the name of municipality, equals something called an Atlas page name. Now this might seem like circular reasoning a bit. We first defined the Atlas page name as the municipality name, and now we're using the municipality name again and the Atlas page name to fit those two together, but it really works. So here we probably have a look at Hendrik Ido Ambacht, which was selected earlier. So let's get back to this one. If we now zap between all the different municipalities, you see that this really works and everything is covered apart from the area we're supposed to look at. So let's add a little extras to that. Let's put the background in, the Lisa data as well, and the municipalities. It might be interesting to, at this point, use the multiply blending mode. So let's have a look at how this one works out. If we change that, we're now zooming into Capella and the IJssel. You see that the area there is highlighted, or at least it looks highlighted, and everything else is a bit covered, including a few farms here that are just outside this area. Next, as I said, it might be interesting here to use a little draw effect, for example in this case an inner shadow. And an inner shadow, because it is an inverted polygon, now comes across on your map as an outer shadow. So let's have a look at that. And you see now it really pops up. Now the symbol looks a bit small here. Let's have a look at Westland, where there's a lot of these companies. If we're looking at Westland, the symbol size looks about right. It covers quite a bit of the page, and not so much that it really covers everything, but you shouldn't have much more than this. Well, on the other hand, if you go to Delft, you probably don't see any farm at all. We really have to tune and tweak a bit for every municipality to see how this works out. Really nice. Pijnacker Noodorp, you can see already that there's a few here. So let's zoom to Pijnacker Noodorp and have a look at that. Yeah, this one might really work out. Now, of course, as the creator of this atlas, you know which municipality is which, but for your audience, it might not be the case. So we're going to add the title a bit. We're going to insert an expression here, and the expression might look something like this. As you've seen, we've already used the atlas page name, so we could find that again and just add the atlas page name here. It now says Delta Metropolitan Agriculture Pijnacker Noodorp. We could add a little word here or there to make it a complete title. In this case, if we zoom to Delft, you'll see that Delta Metropolitan Agriculture in Delft is now the title for this page. Now you will see that if you export this atlas Every page will be given its own name in this way. This will be a multi-page PDF. I really hope these videos were useful to you. We enjoyed making them, and we do take requests, so if you need something else, if you do have a request, please let us know.